welcome. You are now tuned into another episode of DIPP Dads in Progress podcast. I go by the name of Ski, aka Filipino Grigio, aka Mr. Cozy Wear, aka Zodiac Zaddy, Plant Bay, whatever you might, whatever else they call me.
God.
Here with both of my co-hosts and 2/3 of the podcast. I got my man Sport playing all fields and all courts, aka Hefe Horn, Chapo with the cheeks, Don at the behind, Chaplin in the back end.
Chaplin in the back end.
I had that in the cut for like 2 weeks, bro. I was waiting to say that shit.
Chaplin in the back end.
I also got my man Hev Hefner, aka Humphrey Hev, aka Hack Hev, aka Canary Hev, aka Mr. Hev, aka Trample Poppy. And we back like Jordan wearing the 4-5. Took a week off. Feeling good. They ain't to play games with you. It's the aim with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we got a special guest. It's only right that we come back at the week off with a great guest. We've been trying to get this interview lined up for a little while. We got the Kanon brothers from the Kanon Academy with us today.
Kanon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how y'all feeling?
Appreciate good, bro.
What's going on? Thanks for coming.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate y'all coming. Let's get into it then. I don't want to delay because we got a lot to talk about today. So let me get with the questions. What made y'all decide to start the Kanon Academy? Like, where'd that come from? Like, what made you decide to take your love for basketball and just turn it into academy and like a program you guys running?
So Kanon is the brand, but in reality, Kanon is myself and my little brother. My cousin took me to the gym when I was probably I say like 9th, 10th grade. Take me to the gym playing with college players, and I'm going hard. You know, I have the mentality just to go as hard as I can, attack whoever I'm going against. And being that young, going against 20-year-olds, they're like, "Yo, your attitude, man, you're right at us. You don't care." So they were like chill, Kanon,
Okay, so that's where it stemmed from.
That's the name really stuck. Yeah, the name really stuck. I just embraced it. But the Kanon is me, and I've been training since I was 14. Training my friends, training my neighbors, and I've always been, so to speak, a trainer. I've always been able to train others and help them. So the academy it's not necessarily an academy yet, but the people who support us in our journey to playing basketball ourselves and to just.
I don't mean to cut you off, but if you wanted to be academy, it's an academy
for sure.
Like if that's the goal. Like we always want to live in what we want to be. We strive to that, so that's the goal. Like you know what I mean. We don't have to move the goalpost. We set the goalpost. So if it's an academy, it's an academy. It might not be that today, but it's going to be.
Yeah,
so we live like it. Like you know what I mean.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it is an academy. The students of the academy are training to be my brother and I. Training to have the mentality that we have. Training to play like us. To do all things, be the most skilled players on the court, but yeah, so that's how it started.
Okay.
Anything to add?
That's definitely it.
Yeah. So with that being said, with like the academy and just like deviating a little bit, but just the first thing that came to my mind, you're just trying to instill that attitude and mindset with people, and it'll reflect. Like how certain places like even high schools, like certain high schools, you go through certain places and you could tell the style they play and how they play and the aggressiveness they play with and the attitude. You could tell where they came up through, like what cycle they come through. That's the hopes and the goal.
Yeah, growing up, I didn't have, anybody to help me. I literally was the kid that was outside, always working, in the street. I couldn't go far, go from block to block, stop sign to the next mailbox, So I literally was just working up and down. So I teach my kids that your life is in your hands. Not even just my kids, just everybody that comes in contact with me. You don't have to play basketball. You could be in school, just strive to do, everything that you want to do, everything that you see, possible. You can do it.
So you kind of like started this and then you incorporated your brother. How did that come along?
First, we've always been super close.
Yeah.
It's just my brother and I.
So what's the age difference?
3 years.
3 years. Oh yeah. That's close, right?
Yeah. So from an early age, like he said, he's taking me to runs with his high school friends. I'm the young cat that's getting brought in. with the same mentality. I have to carry it the same way as Troy does. So
Right.
if I'm not going hard, Troy's looking at me like, hey, bro, they dogging you out. So I got to carry the same mentality. So, me being 3 years younger, I kind of had to pick up a lot of strengths quickly, especially during basketball, because, that's a very skilled sport and athletic sport.
Yeah.
So I'm really, developing a mentality to just dominate.
Yeah, that's good. I saw something on Paul George had a podcast, and he was saying that like he think basketball players can make the flip to football, but he don't think football players could ever play basketball because it's such a skilled sport. Like you really got to have skill to play basketball.
Yeah,
Staying on basketball, where did the love for basketball come from?
My family originally, well, my entire family, they played football. We played football in the beginning, but we weren't necessarily, the biggest guys. I've always been skinny. I've always been type small. So I played basketball, but I didn't start taking it serious till I was 14. But because, my family were football players, they kind of, talked a little smack about me not being the best at football. Not taking football. So I said, you know what, with basketball, I'm going to really make sure that I become something out of basketball. So it was a love for basketball, but the passion really came to just, show that through hard work, you could be whatever you want.
I definitely say, like you said, the love came through the passion, but early on, I played football. I was a quarterback. That's what I always wanted to be.
Okay.
My favorite player was RG3 growing up, so, I always wanted to be a football player. And then eventually, the love went away after I was cut. So I'm dealing with, what it's like to be cut in middle school. My brother's like, yo, basketball season's coming up. You work hard in basketball. Like you said, you don't have to be big. You don't have to be strong.
Right.
And I started dominating on the court, and I kind of felt like, okay, this is my place. I can be myself here, and I don't have to try to fit someone else's, standards.
Yeah, that's good. That is true because football, that's 11 players. Basketball is 5, and it's more like inducive to your talent. Like if you have the talent, you could be special on the court. But like just elaborate on your upbringing. Like you said that you talked about like your whole family was a football family and stuff like that. Well, just in general, like how was it coming up?
My mom has a vision impairment, so just off of that, your life is naturally different. You have to help your mom, and I live with my father as well. So you have to help your mom. You got to be there for your mom. So just timing in general, didn't really have much time because any free time, you got to be there to assist your mom. Now, granted, she still can see, but it's how much you have to assist her more than another person would. So now my father's devoting more time, taking her places everywhere she has to go, he has to go. So we don't have rides. So we got to walk, got to ride our bike, got to find other ways, to get the things we want to get the things we want to get 10 times harder at such an early age,
Yeah.
So
a lot of people didn't even have that adversity. Some people had it, that's how you can really tell if you love something is like if it's all the obstacles in the way to get it done and you still get it done. Like, hey, I'm going to ride my bike or we walking or we going to find a way. Because with basketball, like, it's a lot of practice. It's a lot of getting to the gym and all that. And then what happens is the weather change and you can't just go play. We do play outside, but it don't always – it's snowing. You need to go indoor. Like,
Our court was outside in the back. We had a legendary backyard court. The whole neighborhood would come. So eventually the point where everyone stopped coming. It's just Troy and I. And like you said, in the snow, we're out there with snow gloves on.
Yeah.
Out there in the hot. It's no shade, hot weather. Starts raining. I'm not trying to go inside. I go inside. There's nothing to do. We were fortunate, but not as fortunate as others. I'm not going inside having all the video games to play. And even so, my parents, the way they brought us up, they were a little bit strict. We kind of didn't have
My mom's a teacher. My dad, he's the type dude, got it on his own. So, yeah, our upbringing really was strict. We didn't go to parties. We weren't allowed to. When it came to playing the game, you get 2 hours total for the weekend. Mind you,
if you had a
you couldn't play
week.
during the week. If you had a perfect week. Not just
cleaning the kitchen, doing all your chores, going to bed on time, homework.
And you got 2 hours. That was that was the reward.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 hours. So I'm playing 30-minute increments.
That's what you time management,
right?
right?
Y'all play together?
Nah, we didn't play together. I had to play my time on my time.
That's time management for you.
So I'm really finding what I love to do and what I know I need to spend my time on. So, like I said, I'm only playing the game for 30 minutes, and then my dad is coming in there. It was a switch. He would come in there, open the door,
Bang.
and smack the switch. And at that moment, the electricity would cut off
That was it.
for that outlet. So, you know.
So our upbringing was really, really focused. You know, like I said, we couldn't even leave our block. We went to the stop sign, to the other mailbox, as far as riding my bike, as far as dribbling the basketball. So literally, we were only focused on that goal of playing college basketball, that goal of making it out. You know.
Yeah, I understand that, and that's one thing. A kid with a basketball, like that's no harm. Like, you know, people fear for you when you play football. Like, oh, you're gonna get hurt and get all broken up. Like, you can give a kid a ball, he ain't have nothing. As long as you had somebody in the neighborhood had a ball, we was all right. Like, you know, I always looked at things that way. But yeah, if you just tell us about your skills just playing in school and stuff like that. How was like high school ball first and stuff like that? I know you said you got cut from the football team in middle school, but how was that after that and just like getting into basketball? Because it's one thing to play out on the court and on the backyard, and then there's another thing to play under the whistle.
So I was cut from that team. Was it 7th grade year, my middle school football team, and then that same year I got ranked in basketball. So at that point, it showed me like, okay, I could really be something in basketball for my area, especially again being so short.
Right.
I'm only 5'11" now, so
Yeah.
back then I'm really like 5'2". I'm really showing that I can have abilities to be something special, and I was able to, you know, showcase my talents on my middle school team and eventually go to high school, in which, you know, I'll let Troy speak now, but in which our story kind of unfolds.
Yeah. So I say I wasn't the best kid because I made that switch at 14. You know, some kids been playing since they were 8.
Yeah.
So middle school, I didn't play in practice. So I'm going to practice. I'm sitting the bench in practice, you know. So that really was a hard thing for me. And then and then going through what I went through in my rec league, you know, with coaches arguing and making me feel like, you know, like when you watch your coaches argue about you playing, you know, the coaches don't ever think about how the kid feels. They don't ever look at the kid and see if they're truthfully confused on why they're not playing, on why they're arguing. So I went through a lot with that. And then, like I said, not even playing the bench, but, you know, being on the bench in practice. My grandmother, she's a social worker, so she always thinking about mental health. I went to a hypnotherapist. When I went to the hypnotherapist, you know, she really broke down how I felt, where the root of the problem was coming from. And I truthfully...
But before you move on, I don't want to cut you off. Just for people who may not know what it is when, you know, as they're watching this, what exactly is hypnotherapy?
Because hypnotherapy?
Yeah.
It's a type of therapy where you're tapping into your subconsciousness. So the things that you don't think about, but you are reacting to, that you are feeling. So, you know, a lot of people may feel depressed every single day. They wonder why they wake up and they can't eat. You go to a hypnotherapist, they talk about you not eating. It breaks down to a problem that's underlying, but you don't necessarily think about it here, but it's in the back.
Right.
Like dig deep.
Yes, it's deep. So I went there, talked on a deeper level, and when I came out of that, it stemmed my mindset to become anything I wanted to become. That's where Kanon, like, our life really played out to where I didn't know before, but it built and built and built and built to where now we are Kanon. I did the hypnotherapy, and then that really helped me, and it took me to 9th grade. 9th grade, I played freshman. Shouldn't have tried out for freshman. I should have tried out for JV or varsity, and that would have really placed me where I was supposed to be. I played freshman. At the end of that year, I got brought up to JV. Not at the end of the season. I got brought up to JV. At the end of the JV season, I got brought all the way up to varsity. Mind you, I played the bench in 8th grade.
Right.
So in 9th grade, I was capable of playing varsity. So just one summer, I turned my whole life around. Then I went through the ranks.
Before you move on, how much do you think that was key to the therapy and just your mindset of like believing that you can be that good or not?
Therapy?
Yeah. Like from your therapy, you see, like prior to that, you said you was riding the bench in middle school, and you said you went to the therapist and stuff like that, and you went through the hypnotherapy, and then like you saw a exponential leap and like you gradually moving up to varsity. How much do you think that played a role into it?
It just made me look at life differently and breaking it down. The same way she broke down my mindset is the same way I began to break down basketball. So on the lines of just dribbling, I looked at dribbling on a deeper level of how I do it, how I do everything. So it helped me just move move forward with everything and breaking it down. Even school became a little bit easier, and just applying your mind to it.
Also with intent too, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, they just kind of like floating through life. Like when I was your age, I'm just thinking from my experience, right? I was just doing these things because it was a basis of routine. I had to go to school. I had to do this. I had to do that. But it wasn't ever the intent behind it. So the fact that you got into something so early, like a lot of kids, I wasn't thinking about going to therapy or hypnotherapy or any type of, you know what I mean, at that age. So the fact that you were able to do that makes all the difference in your journey. Yeah.
I say with our intent, like I said, our parents, they didn't really get us much. So we would have things, but just the minimum. We have food in the crib, just the minimum. I want to eat more. The only way I'm going to eat more when I tell my dad, I want some more food. You better get your own food.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm 10 years old. He's 13. I get to 12. You better get a job.
Right.
I'm 12 years old. What 12-year-old is thinking about what job he's going to be working?
Right.
But, these are the things that kind of built this desire. Like, okay, if I'm going to, get what I want in life, I really got to work for it. And if I really want the things that I want, I'm knowing I'm going to have to work even harder to get it because these aren't.
Developing that mindset at such a young age of like,
right.
I got to do what I got to do. Like, you know what I mean? And
exactly.
and I think me just listening to your story, you were saying it's just like from there, you just got a clear perspective that like nothing can get in my way. Yeah. And I think we lack that mindset sometimes because we be in a fog with things. Like the mindset of like, yo, it's nothing that's not that I can't accomplish. And like once you tap into that part of your mind, like the sky's the limit. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So speak to like how it is you being the older brother setting the pace. Like, you know what I mean? So it was like you the first one to go through it. You in high school, he's still in middle school, and it's like, and you setting the tempo, and he like how is that dynamic? I know y'all got to be rivals because y'all close in age, but at the same time, like he don't have no choice but to come behind you. Like so, you experiencing everything before him. Yes. How was that being that like you really are the trailblazer for this?
My brother, he was my rival for a long time, and we were always close. Take your brother.
Yeah, you ain't had no choice. You don't have the choice. Yeah, you really don't have the choice with little brothers. Like,
so I took it like I need to make sure that he doesn't have to go through anything I went through. He will never not know. That's the whole thing. Being the first person, you just don't know. You experience it, and now you can tell.
Exactly.
So being 3 years older, I'm a senior when he's a freshman. He's not in the layup lines, missing his layup. He's doing the right footwork every time. He's making the bounce pass. So he didn't have to go through the natural mess ups and misunderstandings with coaches and things like that. He already knew how to be.
You took those bumps so he can have a smoother ride. Yeah.
So I took it upon myself to be like, bro, you're not going through anything. Like, you're low key, you're going to live the perfect life. That's what I wanted for him.
So speak to your dynamic of it. Like, how is it like once you having somebody to come before you to give you the, oh, coach expect this, do this, don't get upset. He does that to everybody. He did that to me. Like, how is that perspective that like, yeah, you got it tough, but you also have somebody that's going through the things that you can learn right from. Like, you got an in-house tutor for what you trying to
like,
get accomplished.
Your path easier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he already went through it.
I definitely say a lot of things were a lot simpler because, you have, like you said, a tutor there to help you find your answers and tell you, okay, do this, and this is how you need to do this certain thing, or how to carry yourself, especially with like professionalism. I'm coming into my meetings, coming to my practice 15 minutes early, staying after. I'm knowing all the little things that gets the attention of, the next level to where, my brother, he's literally giving me all the game. Other kids around me, they're not knowing anything, but I feel as if I was definitely suited, a lot more suited. But as far as having an older teacher ahead of you, especially with the arrival, we was rivals our whole lives. So at a certain point, we're no longer rivals. This is real life. Yeah. You are two people. You better work together or you're just going to crash each other out. So I had to learn how to listen, and learn how to just suppress my ego and, oh, big bro's telling me something. No, that's just big bro. No, I'm just, okay, what, bro? You want me to do this? I need to do this? Okay. I'm understanding that he knows, especially what he went through, he's knowing what's next for me. So he's like, yo, you go down this path, this is what's next. Better not go down this path, but that's what's next. So I'm able to literally pick a lane and decide which way to go.
That's good. That's great.
That's dope.
So when do you guys decide to like pivot from, your playing career to training and teaching and stuff like that?
I say that is the the most confusing thing for most people is that it's Kanon Academy, but I'm still currently playing.
Okay.
So it's a story, but
But that's what you here for.
We'll get into that part later.
Yeah.
But my kids that train with me, they're watching me hit the drill. So when I train with my kids, we train together. So while they're doing it, I'm doing it. It's not I'm teaching you, I'm just telling you. A lot of kids, they don't necessarily respect some trainers because they're just telling them, because they're just watching and not actually performing. So the fact that we perform, the fact that we do the drills right in front of them it's a different relationship.
It's something to be said to watch your coach or the person teaching. We had a remember you gave the analogy before about the swim teachers, how like it's like you see a swim teacher, right, and it's everybody else in the pool, but it's the swim teacher is the only one that's dry. Yeah. And it's like, dog, why don't you sit here and swim these laps instead of blowing that motherfucking whistle? You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's something to be said that for you to actually do the drills with them. So that's dope.
A lot of our kids, they get to see us get better. You know, they come to us like, oh, I got this drill. Did you see this one? I'm doing a new drill that they haven't even seen. Like, what? You can do that? I'll come back later with a newer drill. I'm doing this now. They're like, dang, you keep progressing. So they get to truly see. You know how people go, oh, I've gotten good, but you can always get better. People are like, man, I'm good enough. Nah, they literally can see us getting better day by day by day.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's something to be said with somebody that's doing something and not just like telling you. You're like, yeah.
It's mentality first. They see the way we attack everything. You know, I get on the treadmill, I'm pushing it to the top pace, and I don't stop. So when they're running right next to me, when I look at them and they get ready to stop, it's like, you better keep going. You know,
that always was the next level with me. Like anytime my coach got into it with me, and it's like when you want to quit. And you got somebody that's still going like, all right, well, I got to go longer. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. That'll give you the mindset, yeah. But we bouncing around here, but I did want to ask you, like, if you go back to your upbringing, like you said, like you got your parents gave y'all what you needed, but you never felt like more than that. Did you think that stemmed from their upbringing, or was it a lesson in that? Like, because it is a thing. It is like they could have let y'all play the game all day if they didn't feel like principle like that could rot your mind and you're just wasting time. Like, do you think it was a reason behind the structure you guys got? Like, was it beneficial to you guys, or was it a reason to it? Like, you know, is it a backstory to it with your parents?
It's definitely beneficial. Would I raise my kids like this? Yeah. Do I know they're gonna be a little annoyed at me? Yeah.
You take a little piece of that and add what you want to do with it. Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah. But my grandfather was in the Marines.
Okay.
So my mom is getting that strict background.
Right. So I could tell it was something. Exactly. I knew it was something. I'm like, I know it got to be something where it's like we draw the line in the sand. Like it comes from somewhere, like a military family.
Military structure.
My mom's a teacher as well.
So 27 years. So she knows all and especially going through grade school, she's a third grade teacher. So I'm in class. She's like, oh yeah, I know what homework you got. You do your homework? Well, here's extra homework. I know exactly what reading program y'all doing. Here's more things to read. Yeah. So she already diverted us from the fun of life to making it, you wake up, you work. And then as far as my dad, he's a working man. He wakes up, he works. So I'm seeing my dad go to work, take care of my mom, come home, and look at me like, yo, what did you do today? Because this is what I did. So if I didn't put in any work, well, I just sat around all day. Why are you sitting around? You ain't go outside, you ain't put no work in, you ain't do anything productive.
Right.
So.
Understand, yeah. That definitely instilled y'all. Because, I mean, it's a fine line where I think we spoil our kids sometimes and you don't prepare them for the real world, because the real world hits you at like 16, 17. It's like, what you gonna do? Because like you turn from the adolescence and you got all the time in the world to figure out who you want to be to what are you doing with yourself? You a bum. Like that happens real fast quick in your life. Like, and it's good that like they instilled that with y'all so young, because it's like, yo, one day you're going to be an adult. You're going to be the guys you are now. And like you said, like y'all spoke volumes of like the way y'all was brung up. Like that meant a lot.
That's what helped us when going through the things we went through, because the whole time I've always known that it was no easy way out. That the only way I was going to ever get what I wanted in life truly was if I put my head down and worked for it. So I never felt like at any point was I ever tired or, man, I'm working really hard, I'm not getting anything from it. And just give up. I always knew that you have to work like this. Because this day, like I said, all the chores,
Yeah.
all the homework, 2 hours?
2 hours, that's it.
That's nothing.
If you
Man.
miss your mark on one of them, you're getting an hour and a half.
Now it's an hour and a half.
An hour. It
And
just
then,
decreases.
yeah, and then the trueness of it, I'm not doing my homework every day. So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I only got 30 minutes this week. That's nothing. But
Yeah.
I learned to, okay, if I really want what I want, I got to work for it.
So just speak about you say you guys after high school, how was just playing in general?
In high school, I had a college that I was, visiting, spoke with the coach. I went to a camp. They found me there.
Yeah.
Visited, did the whole nine, I really thought that was the school for me.
Right.
And then when I gave my phone to my head coach in high school to set up, just have them come down, see me in action at home. They were going to be traveling up the East Coast.
Right.
So I felt like everything was going to be good. And then
Right.
once the two coaches talked to each other, I never heard from my college coach again.
Wow.
So after that, I had to, just hold that. Because, you can't you want to talk to your coach and ask him why. But
Yeah.
he's the one who did it to you.
Yeah.
At that point, you tell your parents, do they believe you? Do they truly know what's going on? Well, you must have done well, So I'm literally just having to hold that myself. And then my brother had to fall from that consequence.
I say after witnessing that experience, I'm coming from middle school being ranked in the state, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm one of the elite prospects in the state. I'm definitely going to have a good playing career in, high school varsity.
Right.
My freshman year, he tells me to transfer after he does that to my brother. Now I'm confused because I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. That's crazy. The fact that I was on freshman, my JV, not on freshman. As a freshman, I was on JV. His varsity team was only 8 players, all seniors and juniors. So it's nothing but you're not making
it's more about your class than it is about your talent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So like he said, he went from freshman to varsity. His freshman year, I'm thinking I'm going to go from JV to varsity
Right.
my freshman year.
Right.
But after that situation, he told me to transfer. I'm kind of met in the middle. So at that point, I had to transfer because if somebody tells you that, you don't play about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Especially when he does.
When it's
When
coming from yeah.
He already did it to my brother. So
Right.
considering that, the rules in Delaware, you have to sit out, or at the time, you had to sit out a year. I
Yeah.
sat out that year and then had to transfer to another school, only to get to the next school and the coach say the same thing.
Wow.
I had a college opportunity.
This time,
I
though,
kept it.
because of what I went through, I did mine in the beginning, fall ball. Come see us play in the fall. That happened. For him, I said, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to wait until the end.
Went to the same camp he went to. It's called Hoop Group.
Yeah.
Major camp. A lot of basketball players know about it on the East Coast. Got a college opportunity, in contact with the school, waited till the end of the year. My season happened how it happened. And as well, my coach didn't even play me. All throughout high school, my senior year, I played 8 minutes a game. Not saying it means anything to the playing, but that's how they viewed me for
Right.
whatever reason. And end of the year, I have my college opportunity that no one even knew about. I kept it on the lowest of keys.
Yeah.
Same thing happened. Hey, coach, I have my college coach. Can you talk to him? You have a college coach? Yeah. How you get that? I have it, though.
Right.
All right. Never heard from him again.
Wow.
So that's how we ended up,
Pivoting.
we haven't pivoted.
Not yet.
Right. Not yet.
Right.
We'll just go through the story and
Yeah,
then
go ahead.
Yeah, give it to us.
So boom, that happened to him in high school. Now we're both, free in college. I went to a college in Virginia. Situation out there wasn't good for the basketball team, so I ended up coming back home just so I could keep my hopes, my college, my eligibility, my college opportunities alive. If
Yeah.
I went there, I wasn't gonna be able to play.
Right.
So now we're both together, and this is where we really came together, and this is kind of where Kanon Academy came about. We spent 7 years trying to play on a team, just working at Walmart distribution, working at Amazon, trying to be a better basketball player, but working Amazon and Walmart distribution, you're on your legs all day.
Yeah.
Then I come home and I want to work on my vert.
Yeah.
Can't work on your vert when you're on your legs all day.
9 to 5 is killing your dream, and that's the thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so we decided to pull out of work, and I said I'm just going to train, and whatever money comes from that, however my financials are from that, it is what it is.
And as far as making these decisions, you have your parents, who you'd expect to be on your side during these situations. But it'd be times my parents say, "Are you sure you're not doing anything?" And I'm looking at them like, I'm telling you the truth. Like, this is my truth. So the only way I could tell you and show them that I was telling you the truth the whole time was to never give in of just accepting what had happened to me. Nah, I'm still trying to play college basketball. I still want to get there because I feel like something happened to me. I don't know what happened, but in these moments, I feel like it was taken from me almost.
Yeah.
So,
and like you said, your parents, like y'all said, y'all parents worked. So the idea of like freelancing and being entrepreneurs is a scary thought to people of that era. Like, no, what do you mean going on your own and doing things like that? No, we went to work and we got paid. That's how we did things. So of course they fears like start to project onto y'all. Like, I understand that.
Yeah. And I literally was, stuck in between of listening to them and making my own decision at the same time. You can't play the 50 when you make decisions like that, because that moment you're supposed to put your whole foot there and you only put half. Now you only get half of what you're trying to do. So at some point I said, I'm about to just go full-fledged with training. And I met someone who knew a coach, and we finally got our opportunity to play college basketball together this time. So now it's like we're both fulfilling our dream of playing college basketball. We get there, we worked
our tails off. Like
7 years of waiting. When I got there,
hard out.
I'm not
exactly.
playing.
So
I'm not playing.
And y'all built for it. Like, it's not, nothing came easy. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you ready to work.
It's something I'm used to.
And we got there and we did serve that. Like, we got straight to work. It was in Vermont. So you can imagine these mountains are very steep. We're running the mountains in Vermont with elevation masks on.
Yeah.
Showing.
So you running up mountains with elevation masks? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took
double
you.
the elevation.
Yeah.
There's a double shot of elevation. Yeah.
So with how much work we put in, by the time we get to the season, we're winning sprints by half court. I've completely shown how much work I've put in with how much, I'm not going to say how little, but how little work they've put in. I'm always in the gym, but you don't really see them in the gym. We're outside running up in the sand pit, running the mountains. You don't see them outside doing these things. So everyone in the community kind of knew, okay, these guys are here to really put something down. They're really here to, to make something great.
And we played. We had a practice where it was the practice before the season started. So, we were the two new guys coming into a team. They lost 2 players. We came in and basically filled those guys' spots. So with a new coach. So everybody's in there trying to show improve. Nobody knows each other. You know what I mean? And we finally played together in practice. Mind you, we didn't play together in practice. We were brothers, so they kind of kept it separate. So we finally played together in practice, and then at that point we showed off. We did well. And the coach brought everybody to the baseline and said, "You're not going to dominate." So at that point,
we're back in the situation.
Back in the same type of situation as before, but kind of confused because this time we've been through this before to where we didn't know. This time we made sure we were doing the extra. We were putting in the shots. We were in practice doing the right things. We were good teammates.
Yeah.
So now we were just confused at that point.
So I say after that, and mind you, this is first 2.5 months of the season. So the season, you have practices before these seasons even starting. We're dealing with this situation, coming back to the dorm room. Like, yo, what's going on? Like, I hope it's not, another situation, but it's starting to look like it. You win a sprint by half court. Everyone's just like, it's like, hold on. You're not seeing how much work I'm truly putting in. Like, I truly would die for this moment. Right. And I'm showing you of how I'm losing my mind on this court, but it's not meaning anything. And that really takes a toll on your mental health. Because
what was the dynamics of Vermont anyway? Like, I never been there, but
I'll just say all of our coaches were African American. So I can not even tell you that it was racial or anything of that nature.
I don't know what the issue would be.
We had 4.0s at that school. So before we left the semester.
Even in high school, I was an honor society student. I had a 4.0 in high school. So like that's just a tell to my character, and my work ethic in the classroom, just outside of basketball as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure on that note.
Was y'all flashy players or like? Who isn't though? Like, I mean,
Who is who?
I mean, who isn't like you play basketball with style and swag, like
Oh.
everybody. I think so. Like, did you think that ever alienated y'all on the court to make people like, oh yo, like we don't care for them brothers?
Like when it comes to style and swag, it can be viewed two ways.
Yeah, that's true.
But my attack to the game, I attack the game. I attack my opponent. So that's what my style is to attack, to go hard, So,
offensively and defensively.
So on defense, I'm bringing my teammates to attack. Offense, I'm attacking. So I don't think I'm a flashy player by any means. I feel like I do what needs to be done in the moment. When you're skilled, you could use your left hand just as good as your right. If you drive in and you take a left-right step, I could go up with my left hand. For some people, that's flashy because they would never think to use the left. For me, that was what I needed to do in the moment.
Yeah, that was skill.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm a very skilled player, and you add that to knowing the game, to
studying the game, studying your opponent. We really take time to invest in our opponents just as much as they, would hopefully. I mean, I hope they study me as well.
Right.
So we spend a lot of time studying who we're going against. So we're coming into these practices knowing tendencies, knowing abilities. I'm playing tendencies. I'm playing abilities. I'm literally like dominating the game because it's on a mental level though.
Yeah,
you're dominating mentally.
I understand. Yeah. So what was the pivot from Vermont? Like you guys came home from there or?
So yeah, after we went through that situation in Vermont, we're still there. We again at another crossroad, no one to talk to, talking to my parents. They're like, oh, stay there, you're fine. Talk to the AD. He's like we told him the whole, and it's deeper. We're on the team. Oh, you want to say something? Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were holding up.
No.
Yeah, we're on the team. We can't sit together. We're on the team. We can't ride the bus together. Sit together on the bench. Can't sit together on the bus.
Oh, that's crazy.
We called the Scott brothers, but when we played, we never played together. We only played that one time when he said you guys won't dominate.
Yeah.
We never played together. Like I'm talking about starters go. Hold on, Will. Y'all good. Start. Oh, wait, Troy. No.
You go.
A drill.
Yeah.
A drill will come. Not in the drills. We start playing preseason games. Wouldn't put us. I'm like, okay, maybe I respect it. Maybe
not
you wanna,
as a brother,
but as
a good basketball player.
Right. You want the best people on the team on the court at all times.
Exactly.
And it seemed like I didn't mean to cut you off, but it seemed like they try to put that like a negative against y'all because y'all was brothers. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
use it
if you was two different individuals that was very talented, we would want y'all on the floor together. But because y'all brothers, we don't want y'all playing together. Like,
and it was really ironic because in that first meeting, you meet the coach. He's like, I like dogs. I like to have two. I like to press a lot. I like to run.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
I like to score.
I like to
We're
score.
like, okay, we're going to be in good hands here. This is he's describing our game.
Right.
yeah.
And
then, it's like he brought y'all there. Like, you know what I mean?
This coach.
This was the coach after y'all committed to going there.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so yeah.
So a new
coach, walking into the like, hey, you not my guys, but y'all here. So it's like, yeah.
Which is why we felt like we had to work so hard, to show who we were.
Right.
Which is why we felt like we showed who we were.
Right.
To kind of show like, hey, I'm really good, or not really good. I'm really skilled, and this is how you can use me. And
so at this point, your mom telling you guys y'all should stay. What did y'all ultimately do? Like y'all end up leaving, or?
Yet again, we went to a psychologist. We went to the school psychologist, talked to him, and we did this over weeks. It was probably like a month because we saw this happening in the first month, and then that month passed, and then now we're facing eligibility. Trying to keep our eligibility, trying not to get too deep into the season to where if we had to make a decision to leave, we could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wouldn't be a bad thing. I'm turning against my teammates. You know what I mean? I'm turning my back on them rather. So we went to the psychologist, and he said, out of all the things that have happened in your life, maybe you should put your life into your own hands. It's always been somebody else having your life in their hands.
Yeah.
So we said, you know what? We're gonna resign from the team. Now, we didn't quit the team. We resigned from the team because we wanted to explore the reasons why we were feeling the way we were feeling.
Yeah.
And also what was going on the court, you know? Because when you talk to the athletic director, he says, I was wondering why you weren't playing. When you talk to the assistant coach, and he's like, keep doing your thing. One day, you know, you'll be seen the way you want to be seen. And at that point, you're hearing that you're doing everything you can do, but it's nothing you can do.
Yeah, the stress come from that. Like when you feel like you put all the work in, and like anything, and we speak to the episode we had before with a kill, and like life is math. Right. And when it don't add up, it naturally you confuse. So I've done A, B, and I'm expecting C or whatever. And when it don't work that way, and then you going over a grueling of a season, and it's like, what can I do? That'll tear you apart mentally. That'll like rip you apart. And then it was good that you guys had the tools, like you said, to go to therapy and go see the psychiatrist and stuff like that, and say like, yo, let's take a step back.
And even doing that, you know, it's a stigma on seeing the psychologist and on talking about those things.
Yeah.
So
especially feeling weak, you know.
Especially being an athlete too. That compiles on it. Like, what do you mean you sitting out for the rest of the season, or you resigning from the team? What do you mean you going to see the therapist, or you going to see the psychologist, or whatever like that? What do you mean, like, in a sport where we supposed to be dominant and supposed to be, you know, ferocious on the court and unforgiving, like you decide, and then it's not just one of you, it's both of you guys taking that initiative too. So I could understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So we went to him and he said, take life into your own hands. So resigned from the team and
started reaching out to others, saying, okay, I've resigned, I can still come back, be reinstated.
Right.
And, you know, figure out what's going on in my situation. Like you said, as we talked to the ADs, the other coaches, it was kind of like you said, there was nothing else you can do. So eventually we just say, you know what, maybe let's actually put life into our own hands and see where we can go. Because I have belief that what I can do will take me somewhere. So we had to literally, you know, stand on our belief in ourselves, and we stopped going to the school after a semester in. Yeah. Then we left with.
But we finished the semester with 4.0s.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Dean's List honors. And
so we never let, like, that's the whole mentality behind Kanon as well. You never let anything stop you from achieving. Although I'm going through that on the court, I took that stress out on my academics, you know, and went harder in the classroom, building relationships with my professors and with my classmates. We took projects in class to describe what was going on the court. You know, he was doing project. Well,
I had a digital media presentation, and I put all my jerseys, my pictures, not jerseys, but the pictures of my jerseys together. And ironically, on the clock, it said 20. I went into the gym, threw some powder up like LeBron, took a picture. I turned around, the clock said 20. That's how old I was at the time. Wow. So the picture literally showed me with my hands up with the powder, and through the powder was a question mark, because it was all my jerseys lining up, and at the top of the powder was a question mark of where I was going to play next. Because of everything we were going through, I truly didn't know. So our teachers, the faculty, the cafeteria people, they're seeing us, you know, with our faces down, like, yo, you guys used to be the upbeat kids walking around like with the new energy. We came with our brand. We've had our brand for years, but, you know, we started creating shirts and design and everything. We came with that whole image of, you know, being a Kanon, and this is what a Kanon does. In fact, we started training a girl on the women's team who ended up being one of the nationally ranked players in the nation and scoring.
Wow.
And free top 5 in almost 6 or 7 categories in the nation.
At 5'3". So she's showing that anything is possible. Another representation of Kanon. So
I say after all of those things in one nutshell, that's when we decided to, you know, okay, we're just gonna come home and, you know, see where we can go from here and try and get another opportunity to play. You know, dealing with that backlash from your parents. My parents are like, man, we've been supporting y'all for 20 plus years now. I can't do this no more. So now we're coming home to nothing, because I still have a house, but I'm coming home to nothing. No assistance. It's my mind and myself.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing when you come home from college, and it's like, it's not looked at it the same way when you come home from jail. We spoke about that before. Like when people come home from prison, you glorified it. But when you come home from college and stuff, like, what you doing with yourself? Like, all right, what's next?
That's what was supposed to take you. You know,
right. That was supposed to springboard you on to whatever the rest of your life is, and for you to come back, it's like the world view you as like almost a failure, or you haven't, or you guys did great there, but it wasn't to the level what they thought that you should have done. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's viewed as a failure.
Definitely is.
Just speak about, to get back to your project, your digital media project, like with that, did you get like all those signs that you pulled out there, did you pull them out yourself, or somebody like seen like, hey, the clock here or the question mark here?
That was me.
It was you, yeah.
It was all me.
That gotta give you like a divine, like I know my purpose is my purpose. Like, you know, that's a reinsurance.
When I realized the clock said 20, because originally I came in, you know, the clocks are set, it's 30-second shot clock in college.
Yeah.
So I come in, it's on 20.
Yeah.
That's just random.
Right.
So I threw the powder up, Troy took the picture. I'm like, all right, cool. Started adding the things. I'm like, how can I get the 20 to go away? Then I'm like, wait, I'm 20 years old. I'm like, oh yeah. Like you said, it's like a divine thing. It's like, okay, this is who I am. All these pictures, who I'm gonna be, I don't know yet, but I know. Like with the picture, I had a Kanon shirt on. It said Kanon across the chest. I'm standing with like this. It's like, okay, I know that as a Kanon, I'm gonna get there eventually. You know?
Eventually, yep.
Yeah. I was a health and wellness major, so I'm doing self-evaluations on your mental health. So I'm literally writing out how I feel. Am I depressed? Am I anxious? How I can help myself, you know? And it was
and you guys are young. Like, I didn't mean to cut you off. You young, and y'all have these tools that men don't have, like, or men don't discover that they need these type of tools though. So like, I salute y'all for that. Like, to be able to be educated enough in your mental health and be able to, you know, bet on yourself ultimately.
I think it's just taking it serious, you know, like you see the commercials on TV, you know, sometimes on Instagram, little surveys and stuff like that. You take that stuff serious, you really like they have life surveys where they look at your social life, your love life, your money, your happiness in general. You actually mark those things 1 through 10, you realize a lot of things are 5s, they're 4s.
Yeah.
You know, and how can I make those things better? You know, and that's what you have to take serious. Some people are, I'm cool with my money. Truthfully, you may not be.
Right.
How can you better that? And that's the part where people feel discouraged and side it off, because they know truthfully you got to think about it, you got to apply it, you got to work to make that thing better.
Yeah. And then I read something before. They said if you wrote a bubble down and you put somebody's name in there, a friend or something like that, and you wrote out all the advice you would give them if they were going through struggles, and then you tried to do the same thing with yourself, everything you would write out for yourself would be negative, but you would be so encouraging to somebody else. And it's like, if you just replace your name with the things that you encourage people, you'd be like, because we just as people, we're so hard on ourselves, but we encourage other people when they going through, like, somebody could be going through the same shit you going through, and we're going to encourage them. But us, we going to take it hard on ourselves. We're going to look at it like, damn, we could have did better, or we just hard on ourselves in general. But you guys not like, you guys go through this journey together. And at this point, you said, like, to get back to it, you're back home now. Now it's like we doubling down on the Kanon Academy. And how did that work out? What did that looks like?
We doubled down, and that's where, like, the pivot doesn't necessarily pivot, but I think the people who are a part of Kanon Academy, people who decided to train with us, you know, some people, they're trainers because they played in college, they went D1 or they're pros, they went overseas. That's their title for trainer. That's their
what makes them established, or
they give
that's
them
what makes them a
relevance
trainer.
as a trainer.
It give them credentials.
Credentials, that's the word for it.
Yeah.
Credentials. I've been training since I was 14. So, like, for me, training isn't nothing. It's nothing for me to show you how to dribble real quick or to shoot it.
Right.
You know, so for most people who train with us, they watch us in the gym. So when I shoot it from half court, the kid is wild. He goes, how do you do that? I'm like, hey, ask your mom and you could train with me. Right. And that's where a lot of my people have met us. And that's when they decided to start training with, because of how we play. So the Kanon Academy, it really was everybody who you see on my page are people who are just a part of my journey. And that's the way I look at it. We're all trying to, my youngest kid, he's a 4. What is he now?
No, he's 6 now.
He's
He
6.
done grown.
He wants to go to the NBA. I want to go to the NBA. We're both trying to go to the NBA. So
Yeah, I
let's do
understand.
it. And
Yeah.
that's the difference. It's not me training you. You're training with me to get to where we got to go.
Yeah.
So
That's dope.
it's like all of us work together.
We
So
work.
if
We
I'm-
walking the journey together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we double down on that, and everybody who's a part of it, you know, they really take pride in looking up to us and looking up to the work ethic, to the mentality. So when the kids feel discouraged, I'm more like a brother for them than a trainer, because I'm their outlet to talk about, you know, going through things with their parents, how to navigate through that, going through things with their friends, just life in general, almost like how I did for my brother.
Yeah.
We're those people to, hey, if you do this, it's going to send you this way. If you do this, you're going to be okay, you know?
Yeah. That's the thing. Well, training in general is more like you guys have the personal skills. Like you said, a lot of people come with credentials and resumes instead of like, oh, I did this or I played in the NBA. But do you have the personal skills to say like, oh, I have them live through those struggles and things of that nature? Yeah. But see, I want to get back to this too. You say you threw up the chalk in the air, so
Yeah.
I want to know who's your GOAT? Who's the
I'll
NBA
say-
GOAT?
Who's the NBA GOAT right now?
Who's your NBA GOAT?
All time GOAT.
All right. I will say, again, as a player, LeBron is my GOAT. But as far as my mentality, defensively, offensively, how I attack workouts and how I just attack living, it is Jordan. I grew up watching Jordan.
So that would, all right. So what would be your comp player? Like if we did your scouting report, what would your comp player be?
Who
if
I
they
play
say,
like?
yeah, if they say like, oh, you measure out, if you become a pro, you would play like this player. I want to ask both of y'all that.
Michael
Well,
Jordan.
Yeah, all right, I like that.
I play defense and offense dominantly. So
What about you? What would be your comp player?
For me, just because of the high level of skill, Kyrie Irving. But the thing is most people, they go, oh, I play like this player, and they have everything that they have.
Yeah.
I'm skilled, so Kyrie Irving, but have a high IQ. You know, I feel like I play like Chris Paul. I have the mindset of Chris Paul. So skill level wise, when people see me, they're gonna say Kyrie Irving. I feel like
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I'd say,
So
yeah.
go ahead.
I say if you were to see me, it would be more like a Damian Lillard type of guy. Because like you said, we shoot from far, so our ability to stretch the
Yeah, I seen y'all videos. I got some shots on y'all. Yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
yeah. So like I can't really post my defense on the Instagram because that look a little
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
Defensively, offensively, we feel like we have enough skill to, you know, be sufficient on any court. But defensively, that's where we truly take pride. I truly take pride in on-ball defense and making sure my man does nothing. Like that's my mentality. It's almost like a DB in football. I'm coming in like, all right, this wide receiver's not getting anything, and I'm making sure I, you know,
yeah,
do my best.
and that's by not scoring, also mentally too. You know, and that's where we love Jordan's mentality, because if your player can feel like he doesn't want to play basketball anymore, now you're gonna kill him on offense.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna walk through their defense because your man has given up.
It's the beautiful thing about basketball is like, I think LeBron said it first. He was like, it's a team sport. He said, if you want to play for just yourself, play golf and all that. And it's not the only, but it's one of the only sports where you play both sides of the ball. So if I kill you on offense, I'm gonna have to get you on defense too. Like, yeah, you gotta meet me on both ends of the field. Like, I mean, both sides of the court.
What was your GOAT, Drew? You ain't give us your GOAT.
I have LeBron.
LeBron.
Because if you're looking at basketball and you're supposed to fill the stats up, that's what they say.
Yeah.
LeBron does it.
Definitely.
The greatest of all time in basketball, the GOAT. He does everything. It's LeBron.
and he's a leader. He leads his team. He makes people who like Dellavedova. You wouldn't know who Dellavedova was.
Use Dellavedova. No. You ain't seen Dellavedova since he left. Yeah.
Well,
He's still tired.
we still know his name though. The reason why you know a lot of players is because
It's because of LeBron. Yeah. He made a lot of people money. Like what's the guy? Booby Gibson.
Booby.
You ain't heard from Booby since he left the Cavs. Like yeah.
Yeah.
And he a Laker too, so you know, shout out the Lakers.
Oh, yeah. Lakers stuff. Okay. So do y'all have a team, favorite team, or y'all travel? Y'all travel with Brian?
Yeah, that's
LeBron
crazy.
travel.
Yeah. Y'all Brian
travel.
travelers.
LeBron travel.
So I saw this one interview. Paul Pierce was. They asked Paul Pierce who was the. I told y'all this pre-show. I wanted to ask y'all this. Paul Pierce said the hardest person for was it Paul Pierce said the hardest person for him to cover was Melo over Kobe and LeBron. He said he had a harder time guarding Melo.
Wow.
He said because he just has so many different facets of his game. Like he can kill you on the post, he can kill you from the post. I mean, he can step out and shoot the three. He can play physical. He can blow by you. He has so many like layers to his game. Like with Kobe, he said Kobe was more finesse and a post up game, but he didn't have like Melo bag had everything in it. What do y'all think? Like who you think was out of those three? Who you think is the hardest cover? Like you got to remember before Durant walked into the league, they called Melo like the ultimate weapon. Like he even when Olympic Melo was unstoppable, man.
I had a Melo jersey growing up. I just say Melo because that's respect. Kobe is gonna score over 4 people regardless. So if that's
Kobe's
what you're aiming.
dedication to scoring on somebody. Yeah. I feel like he didn't want to give it to Kobe because if he said that.
He's a Celtic as well. He's not giving the Lakers no love.
But Kobe, like I said, he's attacking you on offense. So Melo does have a lot to his game. He's physical and everything, but Melo is on some. He probably looked up to Kobe. So I'm gonna give it to Kobe.
I never was sold on Melo. I never really liked Melo.
Man, Melo was my favorite player.
For some reason, I don't know what it was.
When Brian and Melo and them came and Wade came that 03 draft, Melo was my favorite player. They robbed him of that Rookie of the Year award, but that's a conversation for another day.
That's Brown for you.
Yeah. And then one thing about Kobe though, nobody had like stoppers. Like they had Kobe stoppers. They named people Kobe stoppers, like Roger Bell and then Ruben Patterson. They had he the Kobe stopper. He the Kobe stopper. Yeah, like they had people that it was like, he gonna spin it. He didn't do nothing, but his goal was to stop Kobe. Not too many people in the league had players like, he was supposed to stop Kobe, but he didn't. Like, yeah. So I always thought that was crazy. Like Kobe was like to his bag. But my thing, I say Melo not because I'm just a fanboy, but Melo was like he can kill you in so many different ways. Like Kobe was a great finesse post player, but Melo can back you down like a 5 would, step out and shoot the 3 better than LeBron could, and then will kill you with the mid range as well. And then Brian, I just felt Brian was always a facilitator, but he could score as well.
Why in the GOAT talk is Kobe not really mentioned as much as Brian and Jordan?
I think he is.
I don't think so.
I think it's not up in the air as much because the people that say he isn't, it's like a definite no. There's no like middle ground with it. Right. Either he is or he isn't. As opposed to everybody else, like Bron compared to Mike, there's always that middle ground. Okay. So with Kobe, it's like either he is or he isn't.
So on Jordan really is the dude who, if you look back at Jordan highlights, nobody was doing what Jordan was doing at all. Yeah. Kobe looked up to Jordan. His game followed Jordan. So Kobe has up in there with Bron. Bron is his own entity, just the way like Jordan is his own entity. Kobe, for me, is just a baby Jordan. Is a baby Jordan.
Right. You know what I always did it. One thing I always said. Go ahead, I'm gonna let you go. But one thing I always said, like certain players who dominated the league, like the Shaqs of the world, and like even LeBron, I put him in that space of like unicorns. Like Kobe and Jordan wasn't like freak athletes and nothing like that. They was athletic, but they build was regular. Like you could find somebody that was 6'6", 209 every day coming in the league, and it's like what made Jordan different because his skill. He was actually skilled. Like LeBron walked in here and they was like, he the size of Karl Malone, but he gonna play like Magic Johnson, but he could shoot better than Magic Johnson. Like he was a freak athlete. Like he always had that in his bag. Like Shaq had that in his bag for every skill Shaq didn't have. He was just too big for anybody. Like, you know what I mean?
That's cool. He's cool.
I got to get the pause off. But with that said, the NBA playoffs coming up. What y'all think gonna happen this year? Who y'all think gonna play for the chip?
I know you're saying Bron.
Hey, why wouldn't they?
Don't do that to yourself. This is being recorded. This will live on the internet. Do not do that to yourself. Like, this will not go away. We will make a reel with y'all saying LeBron gonna win it, and y'all he's gonna be home. Like, do not do that to yourself, man.
Hey. And when you hear this, I was rooting for you. What?
When do you go against Bron? When do you go against him when he has a solid team, a better team than before?
Solid. We solid, man. We solid.
Going to the finals, he does that all the time.
If any team gets hurt, it's up for grabs.
Right.
But healthy, you taking Bron, AD, D-Lo been putting in work. Chill. Hey, relax.
D-Lo,
what? That's crazy.
Yo, you acting crazy.
They said D-Lo Brown. D-Lo Brown.
They got Rui Hachimura, who was almost getting that Kuzma deal from the Wizards before he got traded.
He a nice piece.
You feel
they beat the Suns. Who's beating the Lakers?
He's a piece that's not utilized to his full potential on the Lakers.
That's true. They should start him.
Lakers beat the Suns. Who's beating?
This is my main gripe with Bron, right? Everybody that plays with Bron does never play to their full potential. Look at Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram. It's a lot of dudes that play with Bron, right?
They ball out
and ball out as soon as they get traded.
I mean,
we can argue that they learned a lot from Bron. Now they on their own. You know what I'm saying?
What does Bron bring to the table though? He's literally controlling the court. He's putting you in a role. That's what Bron does. He puts you in a role, and if you're not excelling at it, it's going to show.
But in this game today, there aren't too many role players. It's a lot of one-on-one basketball. It's a lot of dudes who want to play ISO, and that's it. You got dudes like Caldarius Pope. He's not a spot up. He's not a 3-and-D guy. He wants the ball. He wants to get in the lane. He wants the ball. He wants
CP.
He was trying to make Kuzma a spot up shooter, and that's not his game.
Almost like D'Lo. D'Lo gets buckets on this team. Is he gonna be coming down getting buckets? No, because LeBron is waiting for that finals game.
D'Lo can catch and shoot though. That's the difference.
But that's a skill that those other guys don't have.
Yeah.
So is that their fault or is his?
I mean, I'm just saying as far as I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm saying as far as like where the game is now, there's not too many guys that are role players. You even look at like a guy like Duncan Robinson, who got played out of his role by Max Strus now. He's Duncan Robinson is completely obsolete on the Heat. When 2 years ago, he was the best 3-point shooter in the league.
I'm gonna tell you about that. The problem with that is Duncan Robinson is a product of the bubble. The bubble's over. Duncan Robinson can't play anymore. That's literally what it is. Duncan Robinson is a product of an empty gym playing basketball. As a crowd now, he don't shoot 45% from three no more. That's it. Him, TJ Warren dropped 60 or something like that. Like
TJ Warren going. Is he even on the team?
TJ Warren don't even play like that no more. Yeah.
He was killing.
He had 2 games.
He was killing.
He put up like 55 and then 60. And that was it. That leads me to the Mickey Mouse chip that LeBron got, but I ain't even gonna go there today. I'm not gonna go there. We don't have enough time to go into the Mickey Mouse chip.
Hey man,
like I can't take that away from that.
Jordan had 9 other seasons.
That's true.
LeBron,
if he didn't win that, you would have been like, yeah, he didn't win. So we had to win that joint. He had to win the bubble.
So y'all going Lakers against who?
That's the thing. The East is really a toss up because Giannis is Giannis. He's the.
I'm gonna go Giannis. Ain't nobody stopping Giannis.
You can't deal with Giannis. The Sixers, you can stop them. I watched them run the Heat ran a 2-3. The Sixers couldn't even work. I'm like, bro, are you guys serious right now? A 2-3 took y'all out? Come on, man.
The Sixers go through 2.
Yo, slow down on my Sixers. Right? It's near to my heart. Near dear to my heart, man. But yeah, that is true. They lack. I mean, my personal opinion, I'm gonna say Boston. I'm a Sixers fan, but Boston, they got the athletes. And what I heard somebody say today is the top 4 guards on the team, Boston and Golden State has that. Like between Jaylen Brown, what's his name? Derek White, Marcus Smart, and Tatum. Like those 4 guards are interchangeable, and you could play all 4 of them on the court at the same time, and they all going to play great defense, and they going to knock down threes. So it's essentially you got 4 3-and-Ds out there. And I think Golden State similar has the same thing with not the size, but they have Poole, Curry, Clay. You just got guards you can run out there that can shoot the ball.
Boston probably has the best perimeter defenders.
Yeah, that's their thing. They play great D and they shoot 3. Yeah, they shoot threes. I don't know if Golden State will get out the West because Durant is Durant.
Defense.
Durant is Durant. They don't play a lot of defense, but I'm saying like as far as the Suns.
I don't think they're coming out of the Clippers.
The Suns aren't playing because they're playing the Lakers.
I don't think they beat the Clippers.
The Suns?
You got Paul George and Kawhi.
Paul George not playing.
He's not playing here.
Oh, he's not?
He's hurt.
Paul George is
hurt.
playoff P. Why don't we talk about him?
But he's not gonna play this first round, I don't think.
He's not gonna be there then.
We still got Kawhi, and I like Kawhi's defense.
But I think people don't talk about the Suns enough because they didn't play together that much since Durant been there. Yeah. And it's something to say too. I don't think now I could be wrong. I'm not a statistician, but I think it's not been many teams that won the championship after making a deadline trade, like for a big star. It usually don't happen that first year. So they got that going against them. But I do think that like when you stack that team up, people don't talk about them because they didn't play like 40 games together and say like, oh, they went on a 12-game winning streak and all that. So people don't talk about them, but they might be the best team out west.
The Lakers the Lakers are gonna win, man.
Absolutely.
The Lakers beat the Suns. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, LeBron, he's gonna do it again.
When I put y'all side by side with Dylan Brooks, with Dilly like this, when Dylan Brooks, with the perm out,
bro, we beat
Dylan Brooks.
Listen, we beat Memphis, guarantee.
Oh, so since we on the pod right now, what's the pod bet? What you doing if they lose?
Bet against my team, but
that's vicious.
Whoever it
I'm
perming my hair.
I'm getting. Oh, he putting a perm on. Oh no!
No, we gotta get you the whole fit. You gotta.
I wear a wig and do the whole thing. We don't beat Memphis,
and that's gonna be the episode art.
All right,
okay.
With it,
you had the whole linen on and everything. He had the linens on.
Huh?
Yeah, what happens to Grizzlies?
You gotta talk.
You gotta talk what we doing.
You gotta root for LeBron a whole game.
You gotta post on Twitter. I know you got Twitter.
I'll do the purple face mask and all that.
That's crazy.
If LeBron comes out this first round, I'll wear a LeBron jersey. That first pod.
That's not as painful as that.
It is for me.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
It is
the posters.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
I'll meet you. If whoever wins, gotta dress up like Dylan Brooks.
It's a bet. Y'all heard it here.
And hit the twist.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it here on the pod.
Going and all that. We'll talk about. I did want to ask y'all about like what y'all programming, what y'all spoke highly of what y'all do, and your program and stuff like that you got to offer. Talk about the culture of basketball just in general though, like with the we saw it's a viral video of kids like 5 years old celebrating and doing the stuff like that, and the AAU basketball, CYO basketball. Like talk about the state of like where sports is right now. Also, you got the dads fighting the refs, choking the refs out, and the coaches fighting each other. And then you was talking earlier about how you saw both of your coaches arguing about you playing. So you definitely understand the mindset of the player, but just from the aspect of the trainer, I guess you can speak to both.
So the AAU before, it was the best of the best players playing the best of the best, and when you're traveling to Florida and those places, it's a lot of money in it. Nowadays, it's a lot of AAU teams that aren't the best of the best. They're actually the AAU teams for the people who didn't make the team. But at that point, AAU is now watered down. However, it's so much money and it's so high stakes that people will fight over it. People are serious enough to beat up a rep. It's just so much money in it that it's not even serious anymore, man. It's not.
Yeah, you had to be elite to play AAU basketball. Like I played, and like to even get a tryout for an AAU team, you had to be really good. And now it's like we all making AAU teams. Like anybody got one.
Yes.
The tournaments are, like you said, it's watered down. The tournaments are making money off of the parents and the coaches and the teams as well, because everyone's pulling up these tournaments. There's no scouts at this tournament. Yeah. AAU is a travel program meant for exposure. It's an exposure thing. If you're not seeing or playing in front of college coaches or someone that's going to put you on to the next level for whatever it may be,
might need to find a new AAU team. Might need to become good enough to play for that elite AAU team that's going to get you the college exposure that you want.
I think it's a vast misconception with AAU basketball, because when people put out, I play for a basketball team, you think it's like the damn NBA G League or something like that for kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, now that you breaking it down, I never knew it was just like, oh, anybody could get a team. Like,
now it is.
Yeah.
It's watered down. It's definitely a watered down like component than what it used to be. And it was like, it was certain AAU teams and like, oh, this team was from this territory, this team was from this territory, and you know they attract certain scouts. And now it's just not that. Like, but just the culture of basketball, like everybody celebrate and all that, and it's just like,
I think
that's the video.
Yeah, that comes from video games.
Video games and the social media, everything like Ball is Life mixtape. You got a Ball is Life mixtape, you're going to Kentucky.
yeah.
Nowadays, I could type in basketball and we can go to any kid. He doesn't even play anywhere. He's not going anywhere, but he has a real video with a real cameraman of him scoring, him playing defense, him getting a block.
Which is good for the kid.
Yeah, it's great for the kid. I'm happy that you were able to get these things, you know, and show yourself in this light. But if you go to the game, Lil Timmy lost by 45.
Yeah.
Lil Timmy truly only had 7 points that game. You know,
so we need to bring that.
And the highlight video is all right-handed layups. All right-handed layups.
Look at it for
still with some Lil Baby playing in the background.
Yeah, it's a misrepresentation of who a child actually is as an athlete, not only to themselves but to the world.
Right.
But once you lie to the world, you're lying to yourself.
You had to be good to get a mixtape. Now 1 through 12, the whole team got a mixtape. Like everybody got a
Everybody on
mixtape.
the team
It's
got
third-
And it's money in it. So like if like you record your mixtape and you paying these Draft Express or Ballers Life to put it on there, and it's like it costs you a certain amount of money to get stuff on there. So it's all a money grab and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You had kids like Julius Newman, who was like AAU, like the LeBron AA or Steph Curry AAU. I'm like, this dude is, I mean, this kid's garbage. Like, he's garbage. Like, I mean, it's the type of basketball he plays isn't like interchangeable.
Realistic.
It's not realistic. Yeah,
Yeah.
he over there cooking some little Timmy from Edinburgh.
Kids, like,
Oh yeah,
That was high school though.
Yeah.
That was his actual high school team. When he played AAU, he played the top
Because
dogs.
he was on more of a elite.
It's just
team.
about bringing that hunger back. Before, you had to be good to get that mixtape, so you're gonna work for it.
now you gotta have money. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah, exactly what it is. Yeah.
literally.
So it's getting watered down because nobody's truthfully working for anything anymore. Even the holding the three up after you shoot it. You know, like once you get to the highest level, then you can be proud of hitting that three. But until you knock down 100 in a row, it's no point of even celebrating.
Yeah. I think that's equivalent
You're
to.
losing.
I think with us, like
You're losing the game.
my era was the clothes. Like we used to have all the headbands and all that stuff like that, and that was our equivalent of acting like the stars. Now it's more in the cadence and like how people act and the stuff they do. Like they doing the Mikal Bridges now and all that. Like everybody doing stuff, but I think with us it was just like the gear. We had like all the wristband, armband, and stuff like that. And then you show up like, yo, this kid can't play. Like, yeah,
all the sweatbands in the world.
yeah, and then he's sweating. Yeah.
Get in the game at all.
I will say this though, this is the gem. This is a real gem right here. Is all the kids truthfully on the inside, what they're trying to emulate is skill. In the NBA, we're having some of the most skilled players nowadays. The NBA is turning into a skilled game. So when kids are laying it up and trying to hit the reverse, all they're trying to do is show skill.
Yeah.
Do they truly have the skill to do it?
Yeah.
That depends on each kid.
Right.
But skill is the gem nowadays. Skill is what you truthfully want.
Yeah, that is true. Like
How
you
you
see,
get your skill, like the way we play, we're playing like the Jordan Pooles, like the Kyrie Irvings. When I was coming up, I was frowned upon. They said I played weird. I had a weird style.
Yeah.
But in reality, I had the style of the future. But you need to how you develop your skill is going to lead you into that style. Kids are trying to have, like what we emphasize is hang, keeping the ball off the ground so you could take more steps. You see NBA players take all those steps and their hand is like this.
hand underneath it.
That's a carry. You know, we emphasize keeping your hand like this, but being able to take all those steps. I have 12-year-olds who can do exactly what I do because they practice the right skill. So if you practice the right skill, you can play like that NBA player. You try to do what the NBA player does and you don't have that specific skill, it's not going to work out for you. And that's where you have the James Harden move and kids are touching it too early. They're trying to have the NBA skill because it's a lot of people who can get to the NBA early, like the G League Ignite. Kids are 16, not 16, but you know, 17, 18, and they're with the NBA players. Do they have that skill? Some of them do. Some of them just athletic, but skill is truthfully what everybody wants nowadays. You know,
you need the fundamental foundation to get to that stuff. Like, you trying to Euro step, but you can't lay the ball up with both hands. So what's the point? Like, you getting around, but you going back to your right. Like, yes, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But this has been a great interview. Like, definitely thank you for coming. Like, this is in the making.
Appreciate it.
We tell us, drop all your ads and stuff like that. Where you can get the merch. I'm digging the merch. The KA. I like that. Yeah.
I will say, read our memoir. It's called Blackballed: The Pursuit of the College Dream.
Yeah, go ahead, touch into that before we get out of here. Yeah.
So we mentioned I say a little bit of the things, that we spoke about is in the memoir, but it just talks about our upbringing, what it was like growing up, having a mom who was a teacher and a dad who just, had a 9-to-5, but he's working to take care of my mom. It talks about how we went to school and the things that happened in high school and in college.
Right. How to navigate
through it, the mental side of it, not being too hard on yourself, understand that it's just a moment and finding ways to, better yourself through these situations. And then we also spoke on AAU. That's also in it. Okay. And then what we didn't speak on is the African-American culture and how our society is we don't let our children grow up. From 9 years old, we got kids that are taking care. Like, my brother took care of me my whole life. This is, in a sense,
rush him into adulthood.
My second dad. Like, sometimes I go chill dad because he's like a father figure, how he talks to me. So they're being rushed into adulthood so early that you're never able to process your dreams, to even believe in your dreams or even imagine your dreams. I grew up wanting $1 million cars. My dad like, boy, you ain't getting that $1 million car. Yeah. I'm like, why not? He never really had an answer. So in my head, I'm like, oh, you don't even got an answer for it. Okay, I can still go get that car because you're just saying it.
Yeah,
so with
reflecting your fears.
Yeah, with that mindset, these kind of things limit us as African American men.
We're already going against the world.
Already going against the world in general. So with these things, we use our memoir and our platform and ourselves in general to promote that, listen, as an African American, you can believe in yourself, you can believe in your dreams and want to be, no matter what happens to you, who tells you can't be anything, you can become, what you want to become.
Yeah. And our memoir also is, because we're still trying to play, after all of this time, they say, why didn't you play? It's, if all you have is the truth, your truth, your character, then you have to just stand on that and truly, it is what it is, So the memoir is really, we've held it in for so long that it's like, it's just the truth, of who we are.
What inspired that you guys to say, like, it's time to put it out, like, get it out there?
My pop-up, he passed away, and when he passed away, he's he has so many accomplishments in his life, and he wrote about it. He wrote a book not about himself. What is that called? Autobiography.
Autobiography.
Yeah, he wrote an autobiography just so we knew as his grandchildren who he was. He wasn't around all the time.
Yeah.
So
he wanted his legacy with us because we didn't really know him much, and he's like, listen, I want to tell you guys who I am without any egos and without, oh, you love me because I'm pop-up. No, this is who and what I've done for the world, and this is how you can do the same things. And he used to always tell me, you gonna write a book. I'm like, not writing a book.
He literally passed away, and we saw his paperwork sitting there. We're like, man, we about to write about it. That's the only way we can. A coach isn't gonna believe you when you just say it. You write about it, they might take you a little bit more serious. I hope they take you a little bit more serious.
Even so, the world don't believe me. It's 1,000 guys with our story. Like, oh, I feel like my coach did me wrong. Okay, but what did you do about it? Are you still trying to go? Do you still wake up every day and work out like your coach didn't do you wrong? No, you didn't? Oh, okay, well, you're just anybody. We wrote that to show, like, I'm serious about what I'm saying. I'm so serious, I wrote a book about it. I'm so serious, I post on my Instagram my workouts every day about it. I'm so serious, I train the community who sees me doing what I do and want to train with me. I train them to help them get to where I want to go as well. So it's, like you said, it's just about inspiring everyone else.
Even if you don't play basketball, if you're in music, you're in school, you're making a podcast,
whatever.
It's
a mentality.
It's just a mentality towards life.
To approach things in general in life. Yeah.
One thing we didn't say
mentality.
the Kanon mentality is built on the mentality of being undeniable. I feel like the only way I would ever get a chance is if I'm truly undeniable. I'm 5'11". I gotta be able to dunk. I got a 40-inch vertical. I need to get to 50 though, because that'll be undeniable. So even with these types of things, you have to keep working, because if you're chasing undeniable, it's like chasing perfection. You can't be perfect, and you can't be undeniable because somebody in the world gonna tell you no. So being undeniable is just a pursuit of being the true best of all time.
I like that.
That's dope.
I like that. So where can we get the memoir? Where can we get the shirts?
Kanon Academy on Instagram.
Okay.
That's primarily where we post everything from our workouts every day to our kids training with us. The merch is on Kanon Academy.
The book is published on Kobo Books, Kobo Books.
Okay.
It's on probably every app store you have. If you type in Blackball, The Pursuit of the College Dream, it'll come up on the internet. And it's also on Kanon Academy as well.
It's a free book. Page. It's in our bio on Kanon Academy. So it is appreciated if everybody tapped in and really checked out the mentality that you should take towards life.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. Like I said, I applaud y'all maturity at such a young age, man. Y'all got the tools that some people don't get until they way older or realize that they need. And that's a reflection of y'all upbringing. Absolutely. Tough, but it was necessary.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, y'all perseverance, man. I gotta commend y'all on your perseverance, because I know people who have been in your situation may not necessarily be identical, but they didn't get that big shot that they wanted, and they just quit. You know what I mean? And the fact that y'all found a different route to pivot and still go and still not even just pivot, but to actively pursue what y'all want to do while doing something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, big up to y'all, man. The memoir, everything, and then for y'all ages, y'all young, we got some years on y'all. Yeah. You know what I mean? we got a couple years on y'all. You know what I mean? So y'all are definitely two impressive young men.
Absolutely.
For real. Y'all parents should be proud. Y'all should be proud of yourselves.
Thank you.
For real.
We want to highlight people with stories like you guys have. It's definitely what we do it for.
Yeah, thank y'all for that platform.
Thank you for coming up here and sharing your story with us, for sure.
And anytime y'all need somebody to get out there on the court,
y'all gotta check us out.
I got jabs. We definitely gotta come out. We gotta come out. Yeah, grab some gear. We got a couple. We got a tour. We gonna have a tour. We gotta make it to Upper Darby High. We got a couple places we gotta go. Y'all definitely on the list of tour. We gonna just pull up on y'all. Oh my God, Mr. Stevens keep doing that jab.
Eating that jab.
Yeah, heavy pump vape. But this is episode 45 of the DIPP.
45.
What's your saying, Hev?
Remember, as long as you're in progress, you're not failing. It's the DIPP.
We out.
Yeah.